Well, hello again, everyone. Nick, Michalak, and Steve Frazier returning.
Hello again.
We are beginning our Halloween franchise commentary series with, of course, John Carpenter's original.
Sure, by popular demand.
Our first John Carpenter commentary.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, well,
So,
we need to change that.
we need to change that. Get some thing in here or something like
Ooh,
that.
the fog? Yeah.
Fog, yeah. Anyway, guys.
Sorry, we'll start with the good one.
So, guys, John Carpenter's Halloween. Got a copy of it? Hit the timestamp to 0 to sync it up with our commentary, and hit start now.
Maybe we should do like a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1
3,
play.
2, 1, maybe. Yeah.
We do recommend putting on the subtitles with us because it does help.
Easier to follow along with the story.
I don't know why it took us 25 of these to mention that. Mustafa Akkad, didn't he die in some sort of like terrorist attack?
Yeah, he was in the Middle East and
He
Paris,
got blown
I think
up.
it was somewhere like 10 years ago or something.
How great is this visual? I mean, Halloween is jack-o'-lanterns and costumes,
Yeah.
and this music is
Yeah, so,
out of control good.
yeah, I mean, it's so interesting that Carpenter made such good music out of such simple ideas. That this is just like some basic rhythm he learned when he was a kid or whatnot, or what have you. And it's like, it just works.
Sure. It's so simple. I think there's a story out there of him playing the film for some people before it was released, and it didn't have the music finished
okay.
on it, and people were like, this isn't scary.
Yeah.
And then they saw the copy again, like in the theater, and they
Yeah.
were like, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, music is such an important part of things. I mean, if you just got the wrong score for a horror film, it just falls flat. Or if it's like too overbearing,
Sure.
it just sucks everything out of it. It's too heavy. You got to have the right tone for everything.
Film editor, Tommy Wallace.
Yes,
He will come into play later on in this series.
yes.
I believe at this point he was still married to
PJ?
no, Nancy Loomis.
Nancy Loomis.
Nancy Loomis. No relation. Yeah, it's interesting how Carpenter really had that troupe of people that
Yeah.
he brought along with each and every film.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Casso, who's playing Myers in the film, he ended up co-writing Escape from New York with him.
Right. And obviously Cundy went along to be the DP for everything.
Yeah, through, I think it was up until Big Trouble in Little China.
Haddonfield, Illinois. Us being from Illinois, I always remember thinking as a kid, like, "Oh my God, it's in Illinois!" And then I, like later on, I found out that that's like a made-up town.
Yeah, it was based on Haddonfield, New Jersey, from I think more or less where
Deborah Hill was from. Yeah,
about.
I'm sure if you're watching this with us, then you're familiar with kind of the folklore or the history of things like this house and the franchise, and we're probably not going to lay any insight into things that you don't already know.
Yeah.
Because this is probably one of the more well documented films.
Yeah. I mean, even on this giant Blu-ray box set, they didn't produce any, aside from like a new commentary, they didn't produce a new retrospective featurette or something. Just like they pretty much said all they wanted to do in like documentaries 15 years ago.
I don't think I've watched this on Blue, and maybe I have.
I saw a theatrical re-release a couple years ago, so probably it's about the same transfer.
You know what? I saw a theatrical thing too, but man, that's been probably 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had that technology then. They might have just put in the DVD and hit play.
Yeah, I saw a theatrical re-release of The Thing, and that might have been the case because the frame of the film didn't fill the whole screen. It was like almost like pillar blocks and things like, no.
Yeah.
It's no good.
This point of view shot is pretty ingenious.
Yeah, it was pretty new technology to do Steadicam or what's called Panaglide with the Panavision system, but not a lot of films that use it. I mean, even today, one of these rigs is going to cost you at least $2,000. Imagine what it cost back then.
Maybe $2,000.
Probably.
In 1978 dollars.
Yeah. Regardless. Yeah.
Kind of a jarring you know, you get the point of view shot, and you're like, okay, and then you see it's like a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and that floral couch has got to go. Got to go. It's like needlepoint on the wall there. There's some, obviously, about 2-minute sex.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like...
welcome to being a teenager in 1978 and in 2018.
I don't think you left her very satisfied.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they just did the old blow and go. I don't know.
I need to go upstairs for that.
I suppose you're right. No need. I mean, there was really no need to go upstairs for any of it, but...
Oh, well.
Mom wasn't coming home till 11 o'clock.
I forget how many takes they had to do to just get this whole thing done and just like everything in sync. I mean, this is not. I mean, this isn't like the most complicated like one-shot deal that you've seen in films, but it still required.
I can't imagine
enough things to go right.
You're right. It's just a basic tracking shot.
Yeah, it's not like a Hitchcock thing or what have you.
I can't imagine that they even had time to like take all their clothes off and put them back on in that amount of time. But you know, whatever. We'll suspend our disbelief for a minute.
I always liked in the TV version how they kind of like cropped this in even further so you couldn't see her.
You couldn't see her
chest.
titties. Yeah. She's a good-looking girl.
Yeah. Dead or alive.
Dead or right.
We won't get into that.
Right. No. No. I mean,
we're not going to get more.
No. Okay. I almost went there, but then I didn't.
Just the fact you said that right after she got herself stabbed to death.
And then, wait, I thought that she wasn't coming home for like hours yet.
I don't know. It was a dull party.
What a great costume.
Yeah.
Like, this would be a good costume to recreate, you know, for a cosplay or a convention or something, like that particular Michael Myers.
Because cosplayers are always looking for that more
niche
type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I mentioned this when we were doing the Nightmare shows. I did a costume contest at one of these conventions, and somebody came as the black and white Freddy Krueger from...
Oh, yeah.
It was the greatest thing I'd ever seen.
5, yeah.
Because it was like one scene, and he picked that scene.
Yeah.
Smith's Grove, also a fake place if you're not from Illinois.
And again, it's interesting because in the television version they released about the time Halloween 2 was coming out, they shot additional scenes that kind of fell at the runtime.
Right.
And so there's like an extra scene in between these where you have like Dr. Loomis talking to the Smith's Grove board or whatnot and trying to get Michael put into a maximum security place. And they deny him, and he pretty much goes to Michael and said, well, you all fooled him or whatnot. And just kind of lamenting the whole moment, so that kind of feeds into this. But
there's like 4 different versions of the original one here. Because there's like the made-for-TV one where they had extra scenes, and then there was like some bonus stuff on a DVD. And I don't think there's ever been a copy put together with all of it. Like, you always have to get one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, number 2 is definitely very egregious in having a very different television cut.
Well, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. But there's more than one film in this franchise with alternate versions.
I get a kick out of, like, I had no idea as a kid until I saw, like, maybe the Horror's Hallowed Grounds or something, that this is literally the same piece of, like, 60-foot driveway that they just keep driving around and around.
Yeah, I mean, it's typically how you do it.
And, like, when I found that out, like, as an aspiring filmmaker, I'm like, oh my god, it's so easy. Yeah. It's all just tricks.
Especially when it's at night. I mean, you can't see crap anyway.
You put the rain machine? Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Or sometimes it's just like, it'll just be in a garage and it'll have like the PAs running around with just in this like circular motion with some lights or whatnot.
Right, to make it look like they're moving, but they're not.
Down the road and just have maybe like someone kind of rock the car a little bit. I mean, that's as low tech as it gets.
This is like the 4th time they've gone around the same curve of the driveway. It's beautiful. That matchbook it's kind of become a famous logo, you know, the rabbit in red.
They make it a slight plot point and everything.
But they don't make matchbooks anymore. Like, it was such a thing.
Well, at least not here in Illinois, because you can't really smoke anywhere anymore.
You can't smoke anywhere.
You can't smoke indoors, so why give away a matchbook for someone who can't smoke in your establishment?
It was such a huge marketing tool back then. Like, and I would say even into the 90s.
I mean, I remember we'd have like a whole stack of them somewhere. Just, I mean, no one in the house smoked, but we just had
people
them
would collect them.
Yeah,
right.
For whatever reason, just like a birthday party.
Right, you go to Chuck's Diner. Right, when you're on a road trip, you know, here's my souvenir from the restaurant we stopped at in Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah. Right.
Just have them by the register when you're checking out.
So I guess my point is that if, you know, a millennial or a somebody who is younger is watching this for the first time 40 years later,
we don't have a context.
They don't they don't understand, like, they go, oh, okay, I get it, that was the thing from the car, I get it, but they don't necessarily understand the context. That's kind of terrifying, right? And again, with the music, it's basically the same
rhythm,
the same theme that he uses. I mean, there's really only like 2 or 3 different pieces of music.
Yeah, there's this, the kind of, we'll get into the one like where Laurie's walking around, and that's kind of her theme. Then they have like the stalker theme.
The stalker theme, right.
That's pretty much it.
And that's it.
And just a few little stingers here and there.
I like that he knows that it's him.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in theory, he would have been monitoring and he would have known what he looked like, you know. Just because the audience doesn't know what he looks like doesn't mean that his own doctor doesn't know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Obviously, many people have argued about how he's able to drive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they lightly get into that with Dr. Wynn later on.
I've always been so angry, and I know that this has come up too. Like, look at all these green trees in California when it's supposed to be the middle of fall in Illinois. Yeah. And they sprinkled those 3 red leaves on the ground just in that last shot to make you go, oh, it's fall in Illinois.
They just had this bag of fake leaves and whatnot, and they just gather them up at the end of the shoot and transform to the next location.
All of those leaves that you see on her lawn right there are fake and were picked up and moved from yard to yard during this shoot because none of them come from a tree that's green as grass in California. That always, like, even as a kid, I was like, that doesn't look like Halloween. Halloween is brown and orange and wet. They did get the wet part right.
Yeah, the color on this thing at least is not poppy or whatnot. It has a certain diffused quality to it here.
It's overcast, which is nice. I mean, but any of our listeners that grew up in Illinois in the 80s or 90s knew that every year on Halloween it rained.
It was cold as piss.
It was cold. It was, you know, most of the like, I would say 50-50 shot of it being miserable. It never looked like this.
Yeah.
And here they didn't even bother with the fake leaves. Here they have just like no leaves. So all the leaves were dead in her yard.
I'd always like to think that as soon as it gets out of frame, you got a bunch of PAs running over there and they're trying to transport the other side of the street or something.
Right. Here's a pretty basic filmmaking thing, too.
Yeah, nice dolly shot, tracking shot.
And they're just walking up and down the same old block, really. This only takes place in like 2 blocks.
Yeah.
In California. Houses don't look like that last one there in Illinois either. This looks like my town, right?
Yeah.
Kind of cool that the folklore, you know, of here's this rundown house that nobody's lived in because this thing happened. I can't imagine that nobody's lived in it for 15 years or whatever it's been.
Yeah, that would...
Great shot there.
That no one would live in it for 15 years and they wouldn't just, like, bulldoze the property or something. And
right. Which, ironically, as people who have followed this story know, that it was like 2 days away from being bulldozed when the guy saved it and literally picked the house up and moved it across town to preserve the integrity of this famous film set.
This is such a good shot because you almost feel like she's going to turn around to look over her shoulder, but she never does.
Which is, I don't know if that's believable, because I feel like you always, your peripheral vision, you always know when somebody's around.
You can, you can typically get that sense in the back of your neck or whatnot, the little tingle.
Good brown suit there. Good mustache.
Oh, yeah.
This Loomis is such a wonderful character.
Yeah, Pleasant. Because originally, like, Carpenter wanted, like, Christopher Lee. And it would have been a totally different performance.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And I guess it was producer Irwin Yablans who pretty much said, well, if you get Christopher Lee, it starts feeling like people perceive it more like a Hammer film or whatnot. It's going to look like another one of his, like, Dracula films or something like that, or a haunted house type of thing.
Yeah, he would just be, like, lurking and
there are stuff with Christopher Lee later on in the franchise in Halloween 6 we'll eventually get to, but I mean, Pleasance is such an actor who doesn't, like, define himself by one thing at this point.
Right, because he came up in, like, westerns. He's just a good
quality actor.
He was in westerns, he was in dramas. And, okay.
I mean, even the year after this, he would actually be in a Dracula film, so.
How creepy is that? Now, wait a minute. Didn't he... He already has the mask there in that scene.
Yeah.
Which is creepy as fuck right there.
Yeah. That's...
and can we talk about... Jamie Lee Curtis is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I feel like even now with the short hair and, you know, she's, like, basically a senior citizen now.
Oh, yeah.
She's still hot.
Oh, yeah. She keeps herself in really good shape. Yeah, I've been seeing the promotional photos they've been doing for the new one they're going to do.
Right.
And she still looks as good shape she was like 20 years ago.
I have not seen the promotional photos. I've been trying to kind of stay away and be surprised.
They just pop up in my Facebook feed or whatnot. That's all.
And I don't... there's some great costumes here.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Sailor,
you
cowboy.
can't do shit anymore. Like, you kids don't go to... Like, this was my childhood. Yeah. Everybody went to school in a costume on Halloween, and we walked around the block, and, you know, we kind of had a parade or whatever. You can't even say Halloween anymore in school. Like, bullies. That's the same in 2018.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't change, sadly.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something.
You're talking about the costumes and Halloween in school and stuff like that.
No, before that. Oh, about the new film.
Oh, yeah.
And holy shit.
Yes.
It's all wrinkled. Get an iron, Myers. Look at this.
It's good that
now, why is this kid not going, this man is standing on the other side of the fence wearing a mask? I mean, okay, fine. It's Halloween. He's in a costume. It's why it works. This movie's brilliant.
And it's so nice that it's like they don't have to just show you him with the mask. You cut him off right at the shoulders because it implies enough.
In the car, in the Laurie's school scene, they showed it, but from a distance.
Right, but I'm just saying in this scene, it's like they don't have to plaster across the screen. You know who you're looking at here in this scene because the music tells you what it is.
Right.
And you understand. You don't have to show the mask every second he's on screen to get a chill up your spine.
It's a kind of a masterclass in what you don't see is scarier than what you do. And, you know, obviously, much like the Nightmare films, much like Texas Chainsaw, they all started that way.
Yeah.
And then once the character became the character, it was exploited. Now, tell me this kid isn't going to know that this guy's driving here.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's the old stick a road sign in the somewhere. This could be down the street from...
Prop department
from there.
Doing their job.
What is this, some kind of glass factory outlet store? I've never noticed that. It's only 200 yards down the way. Libby? Is that what that says? Libbey? Glass. I need to research Libby Glass. Yeah, come around, Carpenter. Let me Cundy, somebody.
I'm just looking. Loomis makes a good living. He's driving BMW, man.
Is he?
In the 70s.
Whoa.
I have to imagine it was probably Donald Pleasance's own
It could have
car.
been. It could have been his own car.
Right. That BMW probably cost more than the whole film did.
Look at this brand new Phelps Garage lettering on this old ass truck. Like, the truck is old as shit, but that lettering is shiny white.
Crisp as day, yeah. There we go.
And there's the
touchstone. Again, it's just like all these little simple camera moves do so much to tell you exactly what the film's doing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of horror films want to be more dramatic with things. They want to hit the big stinger or be very dramatic. It's like subtlety goes so damn far in a horror film.
Well, most horror films follow that formula of let's start the first scene with some horror just so the audience knows what kind of movie we're getting into. And they did that. But then you didn't they didn't have to like continue it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a slow burn. Wonder if that phone number is still existing.
We don't know what the area code though.
Well, yeah, but you could look up what the area code is.
Yeah, but Haddonfield doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, but California, it was North Hollywood. I think this is maybe.
I think it's somewhere around. I think a friend of mine who lives in Burbank. I think he's been close to the area or whatnot. I think it's near Burbank.
Because I didn't think it was that far from the Nightmare on Elm Street house, and I knew a person who lived in North Hollywood, and I said, I texted her at one point, or messaged her, and I said, you do realize that you're only like a mile away from the Nightmare house, and she had no idea. And I was like, here's the address, 1428 Genesee Street, and she's like, holy cow. So she went and took a picture of it. And I think this is not that far from there.
Probably
so
not.
it might not be North Hollywood address, but I feel like it's around there. I don't know what kind of plant that is there on the right, but that's not native to Illinois.
Yeah, some of the plant life in this is definitely very
California.
Southern California.
PJ Souls is wonderful. There's another shot of the mask.
See, it's great looking at this in Blu-ray because, like even DVD, you really couldn't see his mask
detail.
into the car or whatnot.
No, you couldn't. You had no idea. You had to go based on the car.
Yeah.
PJ Souls is a delight. If you go to a convention, she, will definitely, she'll do pictures for free. She doesn't charge you.
Nice.
You can give her a hug. She doesn't, she charges for autographs, but you can do a selfie. No charge. She just wants to hang out and say hi.
Yeah. When I met Derek Mears a couple years ago, who was in Predators, and he was a Jason in the last Friday the 13th remake. I paid for the autograph, but he did all photos for free.
Sure.
So that was
cool. A lot of times, before this pro photo op thing came into existence, it was you buy the autograph, and then they didn't mind doing a selfie there at the table or whatever.
Yeah, because when we went to Days of the Dead this past November, it seemed like from the last time I was there, which was about 3 years prior, there seemed like a whole ton more pro photo ops going on.
Well,
I think there was like one or two last time I was there, and that was like,
if any,
a dozen of
everybody, them.
Yeah. They'll take turns.
We digress. I love this feeling of after school camaraderie. Let's walk home. Like even when I was a kid, it felt like this. I walked home from school with friends, and you kind of peeled off a little bit. Oh, my house is over this way. Well, my house is over that way. I don't know if that exists anymore.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's such a different time now.
It is, and I feel like there's so much, so many awful things in the world that, kids just don't walk home from school. That's scary as fuck.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Why she isn't pissing her pants right now, I don't know, because this is the same person that she's seen 3 times. This is the 3rd time she's seen this man.
Yeah.
Look at the balls on Loomis here.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy Loomis, not Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
No relation. So, I imagine that, as we said, she was married to Tommy Lee Wallace, who did editing and production design on this first one. I don't know which one got the other one involved, but I imagine that that was the case.
Yeah.
Nobody home. So, you know, I also find it hard to believe that in this story that Laurie is this undateable person.
She's very bookish, very, very...
Yeah. And, you know, and as the story
shy
goes,
of sorts.
she wanted to play PJ Soul's character because that's the one that she felt she identified with in real life.
Yeah.
And, oh, you got a fake leaf in your hair there. And, you know, it's like she's shy and she's, you know, that scared another one away.
Yeah.
I feel like she would be, you know, very dateable, and that maybe Loomis, Nancy Loomis, not Dr. Loomis.
Look at the rug that's peeling up over his shirt.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
I wasn't
like
paying...
a whole like wool chest going on.
A wool chest? You know what? I didn't pay any attention.
Again, Blu-ray, man. See all the things that weren't supposed to be seen.
I also don't remember the sidewalks being wet. I mean, maybe it was just a subconscious thing because it's always rainy on Halloween. But that's interesting. And she's also not wearing a bra, which I've never noticed. Like, whoa. She's very chesty. How did I not realize this?
I've seen True Lies, you know.
Well, I have too, but... I have two.
Or if you've seen Trading Places. She gets topless in that film.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
you're right. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I mean, this film's like not like they're accentuating that.
Right, because she's this wholesome girl next door.
Yeah.
Whatever, but I never realized she wasn't wearing a bra in that film. Okay, this is time number 4.
Yeah, this is called Sheriff Brackett. I've got a creeper around here.
She just saw him.
Yeah.
She could probably go outside and yell his name.
Yeah.
I like the Raggedy Ann doll, the rotary phone. Tommy Lee Wallace production design. You'd be like, well, let's see. She would have a globe because she's a dork. And she'd have a tennis racket because, you know, she's...
I just look at this film and kind of think of like, well, in terms of production design, if someone was making a film set at this point in time today, it seemed like they would push all the design elements so much more and make it seem overbearing. And just like, it's so nice to see a film made of its time.
Simple?
That's just matter of fact. There's so many films that try to be period pieces and they just try to overdo it in production design and how they want to shoot the film to make it over accentuized in the film.
I think production design and set decoration would be a really cool job. It's always been one like on my list of Hollywood jobs that I would want. Which I guess, you know, I am now work in a home decor store, so you know, you got to start somewhere, right? But I don't know. I think it would be really fascinating. And you're right, with the period pieces, they try to over decorate a set.
Yeah.
I feel like they do it anyway.
Yeah.
There's all those fake brown leaves that somebody's blowing from a wind machine. There's a pretty popular film location in California. People go and sit on this
little stoop
thing there, which apparently still exists.
Technically should be on someone's property and it kick you off if
they want. They can. Maybe they've put a fence up or something. I mean, people have gone to the extent of like the house across the street from you know, in this movie, the one where she runs to has been completely
house or what?
Has been completely rebuilt so that you don't even know that it's that house.
Yeah.
The people that lived in the Nightmare House wanted nothing to do with anybody for a long time
Yeah.
until it sold, and then the new
So
folks
now,
embraced
the person
it.
who bought it now didn't know what it was when they bought it, and then they realized it's like, well, we'll just open up the house.
Right, let's embrace it.
Yeah.
They repainted the door. They let people come take photos. They don't care. There's another lost art in 2018 is this upholstered interior, like the solid color upholstery inside a car. That just, I mean, now it's black,
Yeah.
or gray.
Yeah.
But you can't get that plush burgundy felt upholstery in a car anymore.
The bench seats or anything too.
Right.
You kind of miss those.
I do. It reminds me of my childhood, riding in Grandma's car.
Mm-hmm. Fit 3 people in the front seat.
4 if you had small ones.
Yeah.
I mean,
The cops won't pull you over for it.
no, absolutely not. You get 4 in the front, 4 in the back. That's a family. You don't need a minivan.
It's a road trip right there, man.
You got it. You got it. I always like going to cemeteries. I think cemeteries are really cool.
Yeah.
Anytime I go on vacation, I shouldn't say anytime, but many times when I go on vacation, there's some of those fake leaves. Let's sprinkle a couple here. Not one tree that leaf could have come from anywhere in this. That's like a maple or whatever. Nope, no, none of them. Anyway, so I like to go into cemeteries and take pictures and stuff, and look, at like I go to famous people's grave sites and pay homage or.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if that's the guy's the groundskeeper, he's doing a terrible job. The entire place is totally overgrown.
Yeah, he's not kept the grounds at all.
No.
He's not kept the grounds. And you can actually see the mask in this shot, too.
So good. Yeah, because this is the newer Blu-ray transfer, which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
the older one had a lot of problems with it. This is the much better version.
This is the best looking version of this I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, that looks like a cigarette or weed or...
they're smoking pot.
Well, I mean, I know they're supposed to be smoking pot. I wonder what they're actually smoking, because obviously this is, it's not CGI. She's actually got some sort of device in her hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've never smoked in my life, so I don't know the mechanics of fake inhaling or whatever.
Yeah,
people that don't smoke and have to smoke in a movie, I don't know how that works. Oh, Nichols Hardware. The place to go for a costume, right?
Place for serial killers with the Halloween fetishes to go.
Darn right. Look at the upholstery in this car.
Oh, yeah.
It is so
nice
red.
Vinyl interior.
This is a fun little gag here.
It's so natural. I mean, daughter and father and whatnot. It just feels right on the money.
Yeah.
With how they banter.
And I guess it's a little cliche that, the dad is a cop.
Yeah, it happens often in Nightmare on Elm Street alone.
Well, yeah, I feel like it's more of a horror movie kind of scenario.
It's more convenient for the story, I guess. And this is so good. I mean, again, subtlety.
Oh yeah, there he is.
There's
drove by
Michael, and he just...
You saw the mask yet again in that shot.
And he just turns his head at the right time, not to
see it.
It just passes by. I mean, it feels so natural in a certain way, but it's so effective. Again, that's pretty much what you can say about the whole film.
Is the subtlety?
Mm-hmm.
See, again, here she is painting her as this, I don't ever, you're not...
She's not outgoing.
You don't think about boys. You don't date boys.
She just feels a little embarrassed to talk about that sort of stuff outwardly. She's very internalized type of girl amongst her friends and whatnot, but when you get with the kids later on, she's as comfortable as anyone.
Right.
So.
You knew it. You just told her that she didn't think about things like that. Dick Baxter wants to go with her, but no, there's a love triangle with Ben Tramer.
Ben Tramer. He's got a legacy building up here.
Yeah, Ben Tramer's got some hardcore followers in this franchise.
Oh.
There's a whole fandom dedicated. Now, she couldn't look in the rear view and go, oh my god, it's the same guy, and instantly it's dark. What the fuck?
Yeah. How long does it take to get to this blessed house?
I mean, I will say that it gets dark pretty quick around here.
Yeah.
You know, in the fall. Not that quick.
Not that quick, yeah. Feels like it's taken them 45 minutes to drive to this place.
Yeah, and that's really what that cut tells the viewer, even though it's not supposed to be.
They've got late afternoon, then they got like twilight, and then now they got complete night. So it's like,
Yeah, that house there is the one that has been completely rebuilt. That whole front porch is gone. You can't even. You would never know. You would never know. You're not gonna lock the door? I'm kidding. Nobody locks the door in 1978.
No. It's like today, you can't trick or treat after dark. It's all like afternoon, and when like 6 o'clock hits curfew.
Right, which wasn't the case when we were kids.
Oh no, we were out to like 8, 9 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah. And it really is kind of brilliant, the whole idea, like, it's Halloween, you don't think twice about seeing somebody in a costume.
Yeah.
Maybe not so. I feel like more adults in 2017, 2018 get dressed up for Halloween than they did in 40 years ago. Like, I feel like it's kind of transitioned from a kid's holiday to more of an adult holiday. Like, more adult.
Of a nostalgia holiday.
Yeah, because I feel like people in the 50s, 60s, 70s, it was like, oh, you're too old to dress up. And dressing up equated trick-or-treating. So you're too old to trick-or-treat, so you're too old to dress up.
Yeah.
Whereas now, adult Halloween costume parties are, more of a thing than, I feel like kids are excited to go trick-or-treating, but it's not. I think the adults are just as excited.
By it,
right, the adults are just as excited to come up with an obscure costume or to like win the contest at their house party.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brackett never put on a Halloween costume after the age of 12. I still don't buy that nobody's lived in this house. There's a good line. And again, it's a perspective thing. So the cop is going, yeah, okay. Like, he took that as hyperbole.
Yeah.
When Loomis believes it 100% to be fact.
Yeah.
Which is another, it's kind of a... It's so great to see the difference in the character being written. Like, on a page, you go, you could probably go, okay, cop doesn't believe crazy doctor, but in the tone, and it's...
Yeah, because you can play Loomis a dozen different ways. From completely nuts to overbearing. I mean, again, if you had Christopher Lee here, it would be a lot more...
Grim,
a little more verbose about how just his voice and how he delivered lines and whatnot. He'd be like everything else he did in his career and whatnot. Just very, very booming and whatnot. This is, again, low key. He underplays the moment, which is completely different from all the sequels.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and I just think it's the dynamic between these two is so good.
And if Pleasance played it crazy, you couldn't possibly believe Brackett would take him seriously for 2 seconds. The fact that even if Brackett continues to question him the whole time, but the fact that Pleasance plays the character this way lends enough credibility for Brackett to just string along with him long enough.
Yeah, there's just enough belief. I mean, he has this conviction in his voice, but it's not demanding. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's reflection almost.
And then just look at his eyes in those moments. Whatnot is both between a dead seriousness and a terror that he has, a fear behind those eyes.
So there's some foreshadowing coming up to the second film.
Yeah.
And he's right.
Yeah.
You know, guy in a mask.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
But again, I still think that in 1978 there weren't that many adults walking around with costumes on.
But of course, at this point, Loomis doesn't know that he's wearing a mask or anything. Doesn't know that he's wearing a costume. He just knows he's out there.
Yeah, you're right.
All I can give him is a description of what he actually looks like.
Which is ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Tarantula Man. I want a Tarantula Man. Was that a real thing? I'm not a comic book guy. Is Tarantula Man a real thing?
Not that I'm aware of, unless it's some really obscure comic.
Can any of our listeners let us know if Tarantula Man... I suppose we have Google, but...
Yeah.
If you know anything about Tarantula Man, hit me up, because if I'm going to get into comics, I'm going to get into Tarantula Man.
She's so good in this film. I just love her charisma of everything. She's so fun.
She's dry.
Yeah.
Dry and witty. And Lindsay's not wearing a costume, which is, I mean, I guess, are they back? Is this, they've already returned home from trick-or-treating?
Yeah, because Tommy's wearing the spaceman costume across the street.
Right.
So I don't know.
Which it took me several viewings to figure out that he was in a costume.
It's not overt. You can't kind of pay attention to it. If he was in like a cowboy outfit, it'd be a lot more obvious.
Right. Or if he was wearing a helmet or, you know, something that... But it's just kind of a jumpsuit.
What he's wearing could easily be construed as like pajamas.
Absolutely. And for the first little while when I was watching it, that's what I thought they were. Was like just his pajamas. And then later on I was like, oh yeah, it's like a little NASA suit or something. Now there's a creepy as fuck image.
That's actually Deborah Hill in the costume.
Is it?
Yeah. About 6 different people wore the costume in the film, depending on who was available at what time for what shots.
It kind of makes you wonder if that was even... I guess it had to have been in the script. The whole concept of the boogeyman is really cool, too.
Yeah.
Which is...
Because it stems back from children.
Right.
It's not like some mythological creature or whatnot. Just like, it's simple. Everyone in America can relate to it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all kids at some point are afraid of something or someone being under the bed or in the closet or, you know, outside their window.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a natural, like, childhood fear.
Yeah. I mean, that's something like, kind of even today, it's like if I am late at night, I'm watching a real scary film, and I look out the front door, it's like, your imagination just runs wild on you.
Yeah.
It just seeps into your perspective or whatnot. Like,
right.
There's some guys standing outside the window.
I mean, it works in other facets, too. You're watching a movie with creepy crawlies. You suddenly start feeling itchy. And like, oh, maybe there's one on me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
psychosomatic.
It's an inherent thing. So, you know, and this type of environment just plays it. What is that? Is that salt? Is that popcorn salt in that box? What is she? She's really... It almost looks like flour.
That's too chunky for salt.
What the hell? It looked like... Oh, fuck.
Here goes the dog.
R.I.P. I don't know what that is. If they, like, drugged the dog? Did they sedate a dog?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They had to have, like, just sedated the dog.
Yeah, something,
Because You can't teach a dog to do that.
Yeah, no.
Winchester Pictures. I had no idea that was a thing.
No.
I mean, I know Howard Hawks is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Very decorated. Oh, The Thing.
Yes, from another world.
How great is that? Knowing what we know now.
Yes.
I always find it weird that kids would be afraid of stuff like that, but that was what they had at the time.
Yeah.
You know? This babysitter angle is kind of cool too.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I guess they still have babysitters. Babysitters still exist.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, did they say where his parents are this night?
I don't think so. Just probably out at a party somewhere.
I guess. I don't know. It's just one of those... I mean, I guess if it was Saturday night and they were going... But it's Halloween. Like, why wouldn't the parents take the kid trick-or-treating?
It seems what they do in all the films and whatnot. They're just like the parents go off for the night and you just got someone to take care of the kid. It happens all over the place in this franchise.
They never say what day it is, though. So I feel like,
Day of the week, yeah.
If it's Tuesday, the parents are home and they got to work in the morning. Like,
yeah, if I wanted to scroll back in my...
See what day of the week Halloween was in 1978?
My iPhone calendar, I could probably find out what day of the week it was.
Siri.
I'm sure.
Oh, shit. But I guess it doesn't really matter. My point is, there's Tide. That's scary. There's Tide before there was a pod.
You hit it right on the nail. In 1978, Halloween was a Tuesday.
Well, see. So to me, that's it's weird. Have you ever used powdered detergent?
I don't think so, aside from maybe bleach once, but...
I feel like the powdered detergent was big, as a kid, but do they even make it anymore? Are we 100% liquid?
Of. I think so.
I mean, I've been using liquid for so long that they have to. They have to still make.
Holy cats.
Holy cats.
Let's bring that one back.
Yeah. Yeah. We that holy cats, that stinks. We don't want to do that. That's a bad one.
Oh,
look at that.
Look at that.
In the background. See, now I don't even remember that.
Beautiful, yeah.
I honestly don't even remember him being back there.
God damn.
I hope y'all are watching the Blu-ray, because if not, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Clorox, there's the bleach.
Yeah.
Clorox 2.
Clorox.
New and improved.
The sequel. Is it better than the original?
Right, this time with two.
We'll have to find out.
With two villains and no backstory. That lamp is terrible with the birds or some shit on there.
It's an antique now.
Yeah, Pottery Barn charges $400 for that lamp. So here's a good setup. The kid going in. We know that there's terror or danger going in. And I always wonder about the branding. Like, Tide obviously didn't say, I want to be a sponsor. Clorox didn't say, I want to be in your movie.
Yeah.
That was just what was around.
Yeah.
That's Tommy Lee Wallace going, well, it's a laundry room.
Yeah.
We need some laundry products.
Yeah.
But, do they... I always wonder, do these companies say, thanks for the advertising, we appreciate it? Or do they say, we don't want to be associated with your movie?
I think it's just grown over time, depending, just the legal departments, the copyright infringement stuff, the more that type of stuff becomes more of a perceived threat for them, the more they have to act on it to protect their own interests, or else they set precedents for, if you allow this person to go...
Like Jolly Time popcorn.
Yeah.
In a can.
Yeah, because the more times you allow someone to just slide on the whole thing, then when you actually want to do
a paid
take legal action against someone, well, you've set a precedent that you've allowed these other people to get away with it, but now you're not allowing this person, so
there's
you got to be consistent.
Quick Oats. The Quaker Quick Oats box hasn't changed in 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just don't. I can't imagine that anybody would be upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are certain scenes where, you know, obviously it's noticeable.
Yeah.
Like they could have easily turned that Quaker Quick Oats around and you not.
Yeah,
like this is. It's very obvious in this scene.
It's very deliberate. Yeah.
You know, same with the Jolly Time popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's. You know, if that was intent, I feel like it's intentional. But how could Jolly Time popcorn get upset about that? You know what I mean? It's free advertising. No press is bad press, right? Or something? I don't know.
Yeah, and these days, I mean, corporations are so worried about image and everything, with everyone having some sort of legal action group or something out there to do something and have a voice about what they don't like, what they were going to get all bent out of shape out. I was like, it's so bad these days.
Yeah,
And we watched a Friday the 13th film with a guy wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. You could get away with that 30 years ago. Now Disney is they got a friggin' hair trigger on their legal department.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't seek reparations for some of these old infringements. Interesting, and I never paid attention to this as a kid, how everyone has the umbrella holder inside their door. This is like the third house now that's had an umbrella holder right inside the door. Apparently that was a huge thing, and I know that a couple of things, a couple of umbrella holders have kind of made their way back into being trendy again, but I didn't realize how big of a thing they were.
I haven't had an umbrella in years. I just wear my hoodie everywhere then.
Yeah.
If it's raining,
I do like an umbrella.
Yeah.
So now everybody's parents are gone. Like, how many babysitters... This is so bizarre to me. Parents want to take their kids trick-or-treating. That's just a thing.
Yeah, it was.
You don't leave that for the babysitter.
I don't think they even went trick-or-treating. I mean, she got there and they just started watching movies and stuff like that.
That's why I was saying that maybe they had already gone, you know, and this takes place after the trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Fake leaves, fake leaves.
Crunch, crunch.
This is a pretty good song, huh?
She's so good.
Yeah, she's great. She's wearing shorts. Oh, she's wearing no pants. She's wearing panties.
And those knee-high socks.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it looks nice.
That kind of gets me going a little bit. Did we establish at any point if this is the interior of this house is actually the interior of that house, or if it's a set?
I know the one across the street is not.
Okay.
Because you'll notice on the from the outside to the inside,
it doesn't match up.
The doorknobs are on the wrong sides.
Oh. Oh.
On the outside, the doorknob is on the right-hand side. When you go on the inside, it's on the opposite side. The door.
Wow.
Two different locations.
So this
which is strange.
This begs the question: how did he get in the car? The door was locked. She went to go get the key.
Well, because the door was locked. She comes back and the door's unlocked.
Right. So how did he get in it?
Okay, yeah.
Did he have the key?
I'm thinking backwards.
She went to go get the... That's a beautiful shot right there with the fog.
Yeah, yeah.
And how simple, too. Just a good old-fashioned... Oh, never mind. I was going to say it's a good old-fashioned choke, but...
Nice. She sells that nice.
That's a good sell.
I like the eyes.
Get her off the horn, huh? Howard the Duck comic book. So have you ever seen this version?
No, I haven't.
I've never either. I've never either. He does have a bag next to him, which is presumably candy. Maybe? I don't know. Is that bag, that red bag there, is that filled with candy? From his trick-or-treating earlier in the night?
I guess as good as mine.
So, she's going to do the old, I'm going to sneak around and she won't notice. Like, how does she not know it's him? Like, she just saw him get up 5 seconds ago. What a great...
That's terrifying.
That's one of the most beautiful shots in the whole movie, in my opinion.
And with just that low rumble of the music behind it, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's not even...
Yeah,
it's not even melodic.
Very ominous. It was like you said, in some like real deep chords on the piano or something.
And then here's the adult knows better.
Yeah.
You're scaring everybody. You don't know shit, kid. I'm the adult. I know better. Look at that candelabra up there. Holy shit.
Let's get some Liberace going.
Good lord. I don't know if I go with the orange candles, but I guess they have orange drapes. Can't believe I just called them drapes. How old am I? I love this house.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my bucket list to go to California and do this tour of, Nightmare House, Elm Street House. That's the same thing. Halloween House and Elm Street House.
Yeah, I think my friend Tim could probably direct you to each one of them. I think he's been to all of them out there in Burbank.
And what are these little bastards, the bullies, out doing late at night? I do love this scene. It's this is actually one of those things that I quote a lot. The "get your ass away from there," and for some reason I tend to say it anytime I'm standing near a bush. So it's just kind of that smile.
Yeah, that's rich.
There's no way that other guy would be able to do that. So, yeah, I love... there's something Pavlovian about bushes and me saying, "Get your ass away from there." Does this town only have one cop? I mean, he's not even a town cop. He's a county sheriff. Even as a viewer, his story does seem kind of weird. Like, you're telling me that he would come back to this house and on this night, and the audience is going, well, like, put yourself in Brackett's shoes. You're like, well, this guy is kind of,
yeah,
kind of a loony.
I love how this is just one shot. You're not cutting around, doing fancy stuff, just like one shot.
It is. You don't have to. You don't have the over the shoulder.
Yeah.
You don't have the point of view.
But the actors run the scene,
which could just be, like budget
efficiency.
Yeah. It's we don't have a lot of money here, so look at this van. You bet your ass that her character is going to ride around in a van like this with a guy like him.
I was going to say all you need is to paint a Viking on the side of the thing, but he doesn't look like the type.
No.
No.
He looks like the type that would be with Laurie Strode, actually.
Yeah. It's the glasses. Glasses do a lot of work there.
Interestingly, I know a guy who looks a lot like this guy. I mean, he's currently old, so he probably looked like this then. Like I know a guy who looks like the grown-up version of this guy.
Again,
look at those shoes.
Leave the car door wide open.
She's wearing platforms. That's awesome. They're beautiful. I love it. So wait, she was going to Paul's house to bone him and letting these two come to this house. Why wouldn't Paul just come there and they pick a different room?
I don't know.
Well, me either, but... Is this the scene... Am I getting it confused with Nightmare, where when they get up to go upstairs, somebody trips over the dolly or the cord or something?
I don't know.
I feel like it's this one. Because they stop to go upstairs, and it's like right in this doorway. There's another creepy over the door or over the shoulder. I like it.
Yeah.
Look at the antenna on that TV. It's like 3 feet long on each ear. It was awesome. This is the way that children behave too. Look, there's a painting with watermelon in it on the wall there. That's bizarre. The things that I'm noticing for the first time. I've seen this movie 200 times. That's not true.
It's a little weird to wait until Halloween night to carve a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, I always thought that too. Like, you do it, everybody else already has it on the porch.
Yeah, you do it like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time. By the time Halloween shows up, the thing's rotted for you. You can just throw it in the trash the next day.
Right. Why don't we watch the rest of the movie? The film-ophile in me is going, you missed it. Like,
you've missed half the film.
Right, why? You can't watch it in the middle. And I guess this makes sense. Everybody's, calling around to figure out who's where, and just such good writing. And this wasn't his first movie, right?
Who?
Carpenter.
Oh, no, he did Dark Star, and then he did Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh, Precinct was before this? Okay. I lose track of the timeline.
Yeah. After this,
now watch for the I feel like it's her. Maybe right there. She tripped over, and he stepped over it.
Yeah, it seemed a little awkward.
There was it's like some cords or something in the room.
Took a big step over something,
Yeah.
Yeah, after this, Carpenter did The Fog, Escape from New York, then The Thing.
Okay. Good stuff. All in a row. So how much time has gone by here that 4 beers have been consumed?
You really put a jack-o'-lantern right next to your bed?
Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's the art direction for you. Just keep hammering it home.
Yeah, like they're in somebody else's house.
Yeah.
They're in somebody else's bed. The whole thing is weird. There's a lost art form, taking it off the hook. That doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't work no more. Everyone's got cordless phones and mobile phones. You can't do that no more.
At first, it didn't look very realistic, but this looks a little more realistic. And again, here's another minute and a half. 30 seconds.
Yeah. This is not your typical movie sex scene.
She says, "Oh, fantastic."
Oh,
There's
fantastic.
Nothing fantastic about that.
Oh.
I mean, that was literally just as fast as the other.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get it. We've all been there. But I don't know. Why wouldn't they cut and then come back to make it look like they've been going at it for, 10 minutes?
Well, I guess it's not the typical movie sex scene where she's like writhing around and.
No, she looked like she wanted him to get off.
Sexy music going on. It's like, nah.
No, that looked like Get the fuck off me.
Get the fuck off me. Like, did that sex really...
And then she said fantastic. Like...
I'm just like, did that sex really justify a smoke?
Look at that cat picture. I can't imagine that it did. I mean, 30 seconds to a woman is not very...
It's enough for him. She hasn't even gotten warmed up.
I was going to say, she probably didn't even know anything happened. Being a man is the best. Oh, maybe you could make some Quaker Oats. Look at them.
I mean, look at this fucking lighting here, man.
It's so gorgeous.
It's beautiful. I mean, all the blue is just inspired entirely. And
that's just a gel that they put over the...
Yeah, just wouldn't have done color grading or anything.
Oh my god. Yeah, there was no post coloring. It was...
Yeah, not really, no. You don't really see a lot of films doing it that. They would, like a Dario Argento film would just be a whole bunch of rich gels or whatnot, or lenses you throw on the lights to make it all look this way.
Oh, it's so good. He doesn't even scream or moan or anything. He's just dead. And stuck to the wall. Yeah. That is such a beautiful thing.
And again, I mean, it's like...
The lighting is perfect. And then...
And this, the body language is so...
He loves to admire his work.
Mm-hmm. It just seems... It's almost like it's so curious to him. It's like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like he almost doesn't understand exactly what he's doing.
Yet he has the wherewithal to put on a sheet and the glasses and mindfuck with her. I mean, it's Halloween, and he's got on 2 costumes right now.
He's doubling up, man.
Bob. Very pronounced note. This is probably not even Michael. Hi. Like whoever it was that played the Shape.
Nick Castle.
Nick Castle. That's probably not Nick Castle. I don't think Nick Castle had that pronounced of a nose. That looks like almost Tommy Lee Wallace, to be honest with you. I mean, the glasses, the big nose, the pasty complexion. I think that's Tommy Lee Wallace right there.
It's almost kind of refreshing. It's like, yeah, they have her take her top off, whatnot, but it's not like they've been like exploiting it for every frame of film she's been on this whole scene, which is completely different from how we'll get to later on.
Sure. And then Laurie's knitting, and she's got the top 2 undone. This is a great scene here. Oh, yeah. And now, I mean, it's so believable. Like, everything in this movie... I shouldn't say everything, because we've all done nothing but nitpick. But, for the most part, the broad strokes, the progression of story is extremely believable. It's logical from one scene to the next. You know, kind of that famous thing in screenwriting that I actually learned from Trey Parker, of all people, from South Park fame, is when you're writing along, you don't want this happens and then this happens and then this happens. You want the first thing happens, and because of that, the next thing happens. And because of that, the next thing happens.
A proper chain reaction.
So I don't feel like there's anything in this story that it falls under the and then this happens category. It's all because of that, this next step happens. Domino effect. And when I heard Trey Parker say that, I went, oh, like it just, the light bulb went on. You know? You know, the previous phone call said that, you know, Annie wasn't there. They were, they're looking for her.
Yeah.
And then in this one, and there was
She
already
just crank calling her.
There's
again.
already a history of crank phone calls, so it's believable.
Yeah.
And so simple. Everything in this movie is simple.
Yeah, and that's the brilliance of it. It's like, oh yeah, there are horror films that can do much more complicated stuff and do it successfully, but for a concept that's simple, don't overcomplicate the mechanics of it.
And how great is it that he just now sees this car?
Mm-hmm.
Like, 4 houses down, but, the previous shot did kind of make it look like it was across the street. But now he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Now he knows it's there.
And it's so interesting with the success of the film, because I think it's one of those ones that's like, didn't open big, but it's like, has so much legs with it.
She's tucked in without a belt, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But it has so much legs, it just built its profit over the weeks and the months and whatnot, just like it became a hit over time. Everything today, like the last 25 years and whatnot, is like, it opens big and then just dwindles down as it goes on. This was just like a consistent build.
With the advent of the internet, by Friday night,
whether it's a profit or not.
Right. And you know what the weekend is, basically, the whole story can be told by the first day. And that was so not the case back then. Back then there were only 200 movies released in a whole year, and now there's 500.
Yeah. And plus, the release strategies changed completely. A lot of stuff back then, it would open smaller and then kind of spread itself out as it went along to see how successful it was in the smaller markets, or just like
word of mouth or whatever
markets, and then expand it to larger areas.
Here's her theme again too. If you
from early on when they're walking down the
just
street.
That simple
melody.
Yeah, arpeggio is it? Maybe not. I think that's the wrong word. The music people will correct me. And everything is that blue. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It really is. It's a beautiful movie.
And just this music adds the tension in. It would still be have some tension if it was no music or just walking across the street, knowing what she's going to walk into, but the music just adds something extra into it.
Yeah,
because that consistent, repeating melody to just like, when is it going to break? When is it going to hit something? When is it going to hit that crescendo?
Interestingly, and she might not be wearing a bra here either. The other thing that I actually just put together for the first time ever is that she and Brackett are actually on the same track of believability in the story. And I've never really thought about it before, but she has spent up until this point using logic and reasoning, much like Brackett.
Yeah.
And at this point, there was just that one little clue that gave pause and said, something might not be right.
Yeah.
And, it's like on the same path, they're both realizing that, oh shit, like, it's going down.
Yeah. Almost like properly enough, we don't see Brackett anymore in the film. He doesn't come in the last minute and be the hero. It's Loomis.
Right.
And that's what needs to happen for the story. And a lot of things would kind of make it well, he's the cop, he should be the guy to get the killer. Well, that's not really the case.
Well, yeah.
You gotta look at the characters, you gotta look at the story you got going on. Brackett doesn't even come in at the last minute for any reason whatsoever. He's just off doing what he's doing.
Being a cop.
Patrolling the streets.
Yeah, he's being a cop.
And he leaves the film without knowing that that's going to be the last time you see him. It's just the progression is very logical, like you said.
Yeah.
Nothing just kind of swoops in to just shoehorn something expected in the whole thing. It's like, this is where the placement of the characters are. We're not going to force something that seems illogical. And things like everything's moving towards the right path for these characters to converge where they need to, and Brackett's off doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I love it.
And you don't even really think about it.
I love these point of view shots.
Yeah. I mean, the further we get into this film, is like the lighting is just so absolutely inspired. I don't think Cunningham really done. He'd done work before, but he didn't have anything notable in his career. This was like the real thing that really he was able to hitch himself onto and become a big success and everything, to really kind of make him a name in Hollywood and whatnot. Because I mean, he would keep working with Carpenter. He'd shoot Back to the Future. He'd work on Jurassic Park.
I feel like here, though, it was probably more of a collaborative effort.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
I don't think Cundy said, "I'm the DP. This is how it's going to be."
Yeah.
You know,
because a lot of Carpenter films look very much similar, even if he did change cinematographers. But you still have to have the guy who knows what he's doing, how to set the lights, how to get that right quality with everything. Because if you get someone who really doesn't know what they're doing, then it's going to not. You might see what they're trying to do, but not realize it. You need to have the guy who can paint the light with the different shades and the different gels and all these little things, and work with that art direction with that jack-o'-lantern and everything.
I don't necessarily know why. What's the thought behind the headstone and her and the bed? Like, I don't get the staging. Is it just
this is very haunted house here. That's probably the idea behind it. It's like another little sort of slight Halloween-esque type of thing, that your protagonist now has to run through a haunted house full of little things that scare the crap out of her.
But why would he necessarily pick this house? You know what I mean? And this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh my God, it's so good.
Just dialing up that little key light to just, God damn it. And the fact that he used this white mask, it makes it perfect, because it makes the contrast.
And that is what is so scary. Like, that is what you're afraid of when you're running up the stairs from the dark basement.
Yeah.
You're afraid that
is going to pop out.
Is going to pop out
in the darkness. Yeah.
You know, if you look under the bed, that's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
And that is so beautiful. The lighting just in between the spindles of the stair bouncing off his mask.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's good. Can we get what is that? Baking? It's baking powder? Why would that be going on the pop? Why would she be pouring that? I'm still upset about the baking powder or whatever that was. I can't read it.
Yeah. But I love this fucking cue, man. This stalker theme is fantastic. It's everything it needs to be. It's just terror personified in this moment.
It is. I mean, and who wouldn't be afraid of somebody coming after you? Like, everybody knows that feeling.
And just again, the mask is so inspired, because just like this blank image,
right?
You can't read anything into it. It's just like mindless evil, which is exactly what Loomis is projecting throughout the entire film. That's what he's trying to tell Brackett. There's just this blank, expressionless, mindless evils after you.
And it's so different than
anything else that really come before it, more or less.
Right, and it's also different than what we covered in our Shocker commentary, where, oh, this is so good. Where the people are like, oh, this crazy lady, it's Halloween, there's pranks. That's believable. That's logical. That would be me. Yeah. If somebody came knocking on my door,
I'd be scared out of shit.
I'd be like, you know what? I'm not even dealing with this. Off go the lights. Close the blinds.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. I'm not dealing with you.
I mean, if it was her actual neighbor, they probably know her better. But this is a different neighborhood. They don't know her.
Right. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so scary. Anyway, different than what we covered in the Shocker commentary, in which he was actually just a person who was a badass, and different kind of movie, different kind of killer. Like you said, Loomis wanted to convey, or was conveying that
this is more of a force of nature.
That he's not even a human person. He doesn't have emotions. Yeah. So what better way to do that by taking away the ability to see facial expressions?
Yeah. And I love Nick Castle's performance above anyone else's performance as Michael Myers, because I just love the fact that he feels like a shark. He has this fluid movement. If he has, I don't know if you can call it uncanny valley type of thing. I don't think that's really appropriate, but the fact that this character who's not portrayed as human but has this sense of almost being human in how he moves, the fluidity of how he moves, but he's just so relentless about what he does.
Well,
Everyone else afterwards felt a little stiff, a little robotic.
If it's too robotic, it doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
He feels real.
He doesn't feel inhuman.
And the knitting needle right in the neck.
I mean, the fact that they have these moments here where he's vulnerable to an extent, but then they also show that he is, again, relentless.
And again, here we go, props. Props to the props people, where they had that weird scene just a minute ago where she was knitting, and you're like, oh, she's knitting, that's weird. And then now it doesn't seem unusual or out of place that she could grab a knitting needle.
It's just sitting there. It's not just random sitting there for plot convenience.
Right.
You know what you want to do with it, and then you kind of lay the seed in there early on.
You do have to kind of work backwards.
Yeah. Figure out where you want to go with it, and figure out where you can just lay the seeds early
right.
on.
How can you get there?
Yeah. And again, and it's not like, and again, it's just another subtle thing is like they didn't have to have a big thing about whatever the case of her having a hobby of knitting. It's like she's just sitting there knitting. It's all you really need.
Yeah, that doesn't need an explanation.
You don't need to have a backstory or whatnot. You don't have to have a big scene about things. She doesn't have to be in like a knitting class in school. Just like she's just sitting there doing what she does on a random night.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, you do have Brackett here. I forgot about him coming back in, but still, he does. That's all he does. Just go around the back of the neighborhood. Someone got TP'd.
Yeah. They still do that, though. I will say.
On occasion, yeah.
I know, like for homecoming or whatever, that's a thing.
Yeah.
You can always tell who the seniors in high school are in my neighborhood because you drive around and...
Yeah.
This is, I don't know if I buy that mark on her arm. But,
yeah. Doesn't seem like much of a slash.
Now, why can't she see him?
Yeah.
Like, this girl is the worst. She didn't see Tommy get off the couch. She didn't see... Oh. But, yes, all really scary.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a kid and thinking that this scene here in the closet where he bursts through was like one of the scariest things that I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I mean you can just imagine yourself in that situation. You've locked yourself into the most impossible situation to escape from. You've backed yourself into a corner intentionally,
like literally. And look at this light. Again, something so simple.
Yeah.
But it creates that ominous.
Yeah. And again, like you were saying with the eyes and whatnot, it's not like we're like some of the Friday films where they put mesh over the eyes. Just like they did it all with strategic lighting, not to have the light hit his eyes or whatnot.
Right.
They just lit everything perfectly to maintain that illusion.
This, I mean, is terrifying. Terrifying.
Mm.
The old coat hanger trick. Like,
yeah.
What a visual.
I love how you just have the light flickering back and forth as he just rummaging through everything.
Right.
It's really nice.
And she poked him right in the eye, which is good.
Oh.
And then right in the belly.
Mm-hmm.
A gut shot.
Mm-hmm.
Which could legit kill you.
Yeah.
If you hit the right organs.
Mm-hmm.
And now here's a great reaction.
Mm-hmm.
That hold the knife out in front of you thing. Whew.
And the
placement?
Yeah, that's...
Like, because now she has to step over him.
Yeah, because that would near paralyze the crap out of you. Like, you wouldn't want to make one step.
Well...
I mean, you'd be so terrified that he just...
What are you throwing the knife for?
Yeah.
And now here, I guess in 2018, we're conditioned to think he's going to grab the ankle.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And
because that's what she would be thinking, is like, this guy's... Do I want to get close enough to this guy where he can assault me again? That's the thing.
This girl is the worst.
Yeah. She's been no help to the plot whatsoever.
No.
When Annie's locked up and she's screaming for help and whatnot, she's just sitting there
watching TV.
You're useless.
She's literally the worst character in this movie.
That's why they never brought her back in the franchise. I like this useless character.
And look at this.
This is brilliant. This is
the sit-up.
This is framing right here.
101.
The framing, the depth of field, everything. This is like a master class in like cinematography for a horror film.
We've used that term like 3 times now.
Yeah. And if you're not into horror films, watch this film to understand how to compose a shot, use different lighting techniques, the Steadicam stuff. I mean, look at the composition of everything. The focus,
right.
Yeah. To use that type of thing to your advantage. It separates a lot. I mean, even like a lot of slasher films aren't shot in this aspect ratio. They're not shot in CinemaScope. They're usually shot 1:8:5. So you don't have this composition to work with so much. You don't have that width of the screen to work with. And this is so good because without him taking the mask off, Loomis doesn't know who he's shooting at.
Right. Now he knows.
Yeah. He doesn't even lift the gun until he sees the face.
Six bullets.
Mm-hmm.
He emptied his whole 6-shooter.
Yeah. And
he clicked it.
And he clicked it again.
Just to make sure.
Just because.
And she has become a believer in the boogeyman. 30 minutes ago she said it wasn't. And this is the only scene that they have together.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And this is
it's so good.
Donald Pleasance's acting choice in this whole thing is absolutely brilliant.
And the music cue at that time
lets you know it is not over.
And unfortunately, in today's day and age, this would have been done intentionally to make a sequel.
Yeah. Carpenter had no intention of sequel.
No, zero.
Yeah. But this look is brilliant because, like, I knew.
Right.
And
then I like these flashes.
Yeah.
These single shots of different set points.
Yeah.
Just to kind of remind you,
and
it's like he could be here.
Yeah.
He could be here.
Yeah.
He could be here.
Reel you back through the moments of the film.
And then the breathing.
Yeah.
And, you know, similar to Friday the 13th, it's a, oh, well then he's still out there moment.
But
you roll credits.
Yeah.
And
you gotta love a horror film that just leaves you that kind of fucking hook. There's not... I mean, yeah, you saved the girl, but the killer, the monster's still out there.
Right, because that means that he could be coming to my house.
Yeah.
That could be my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's unresolved.
Yeah.
It's
leave the
brilliant.
audience with a chill up their backs.
100%.
That's why people come back to watch this, because like you're hooked at the end of the film. You're left with that feeling walking out of the lobby and into the car or out to the
that
dinner
you're still
afterwards.
checking the back seat.
Yeah.
Or you're still going to check
You
the
got
closet when you get
that
home.
stuff firing in the back of your head. It's like, God damn it.
Right, because there's no closure.
Mm-hmm. In the best way possible.
Because I didn't want to say this at the beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
movie. I did kind of want to wait until the end. And you may have guessed, based on how much we've put it over throughout the course of the movie, as much as I'm a Nightmare on Elm Street guy, I firmly believe this is the single greatest horror movie ever made. And I have always said that. It's not necessarily my favorite, you know, air quotes. But I feel like it is, again, a masterclass, and every single thing in it is perfect.
There's not a misstep anywhere. Every shot is so calculated. Every piece of dialogue feels very natural.
From the suspense, what you don't see is scarier than what you do see.
The design of everything.
The lighting, the fucking music is the greatest of all time. Even though it doesn't scare me like the Nightmare piece, it's perfection. I feel like, in my opinion, this could have been nominated for Best Picture because it's, from a technical movie making standpoint, it's perfect. And I can't say enough about it. I think it's the best horror movie ever made.
Fantastic. Well, guys, we'll be back with Halloween 2 shortly, but we'd love to hear what your thoughts are about what we've discussed and what else is on your mind about John Carpenter's Halloween. So, guys,
yeah, let us know what you thought. Look forward to seeing part 2. Maybe someday you can sit down and do both back to back.
Yes.
2 definitely goes off the rails a little bit. We'll get into that once that starts. But just thanks for listening, and this has been fun.
Fantastic. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.